to the house of the women unto the custody of Hajeh, the king's chamberlain, keeper of the women, and let their things be purification, and let their things for purification be given them, and let the maiden which pleaseth the king be queen instead of Vashti. And the thing pleased the king, and he did so. Now in Shushan, the palace, there was a certain Jew whose name was Mordecai, the son of Jair, the son of Shemad, the son of Kish, a Benjamite, who had been carried away from Jerusalem with the captivity, which had been carried away with jo, uh, Jeconiah, king of Judah, whom Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had carried away. And he brought up Hadassah. This is Esther, his uncle's daughter, for she had neither father nor mother. And the maid was fair and beautiful, whom Mordecai, when her father and mother were dead, took for his own daughter. So it came to pass when the king's commandment and his decree was heard, and when many maidens were gathered together unto Shushan the palace to the custody of Hajah, that Esther was brought also unto the king's house to the custody of Hajah, the keeper of women. And the maiden pleased him, and she obtained kindness of him. And he speedily gave her her things for purification, with such things as belonged to her, the 7 maidens, which were meet to be given her out of the king's house. And he preferred her and her maids unto the best place of the house of the women. Esther had not shown her people nor her kindred, for Mordecai had charged her that she should not show it. And Mordecai walked every day before the court of the woman's house to know how Esther did and what should become of her. Now, when every maid's turn was come to go in to King Ahasuerus, after that she had been 12 months, according to the manner of the women, for so were the days of their purifications accomplished, with 6 months with oil of myrrh, and 6 months with sweet odors, and with other things for the purifying of the women. Then thus came every maiden unto the king, whatsoever she desired was given her, to go with her out of the house of the women unto the king's house. In the evening she went, and on the morrow she returned into the second house of the women to the custody of Shashgaz, the king's chamberlain, which kept the concubines. She came in unto the king no more, except the king delighted her in her, and that she were called by name. Now, when the turn of Esther, the daughter of Abihail, the uncle of Mordecai, who had taken her for his daughter, was come to go in unto the king, she required nothing what Haggai, the king's chamberlain, the keeper of the women, appointed. And Esther obtained favor in the sight of all them that looked upon her. So Esther was taken unto King Ahasuerus into the house royal in the 10th month, which is the month of Tebeth, in the 7th year of his reign. And the king loved Esther above all the women, and she obtained grace and favor in his sight more than all the virgins, so that he set the royal crown upon her head and made her queen instead of Vashti. Then the king made a great feast unto all his princes and his servants, even Esther's feast. And he made a release to the provinces and gave gifts according to the state of the king. And when the virgins were gathered together the second time, then Mordecai sat in the king's gate. Esther had Esther had not yet showed her kindred nor her people, as Mordecai had charged her, for Esther did the commandment of Mordecai. In those days, while Mordecai sat in the king's gate, 2 of the king's chamberlains, Bigthan and Teresh, of those which kept the door, were wroth and sought to lay hand on the king Ahasuerus. And the thing was known to Mordecai, who told it unto Esther the queen, and Esther certified the king thereof of Mordecai's name. And when inquisition was made of the matter, it was found out. Therefore, they were both hanged on a tree, and it was written in the book of the Chronicles before the king. Chapter 3. After these things did King Ahasuerus promote Haman, or Haman, the son of Hammedatha the Agagite, and advanced him, and set his seat above all the princes that were with him. And all the king's servants that were in the king's gate bowed and reverenced Haman, for the king had so commanded concerning him. But Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence. Then the king's servants which were in the king's gate said unto Mordecai, why transgressest thou the king's commandment? Now it came to pass, when they spake daily unto him, and he hearkened not unto them, that they told Haman to see whether Mordecai's matters would stand, for he had told them that he was a Jew. And when Haman saw that Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence, then was Haman full of wrath. And he thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone, for they had showed him the people of Mordecai. Wherefore Haman sought to destroy all the Jews that were throughout the whole kingdom of Ahasuerus, even the people of Mordecai. In the first month, that is the month Nisan, in the 12th year of the king Ahasuerus, they cast Pur, that is the lot, before Haman, from day to day, and from month to month, to the 12th month, that is the month of Adar. And Haman said unto King Ahasuerus, there is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all the provinces of thy kingdom, and their laws are diverse from all people. Neither keep they the king's laws, therefore it is not for the king's profit to suffer them. So like I said, we're gonna pick up with the next chapter a little later on. Oh, hold on one second, y'all. Islam National Guard. I'm cool, I'm cool. We on the yeah, Morse. All right, so again, we'll pick up from there, and then we'll go to chapter 6 tonight. And then, like I said, Sunday night we'll finish up, and then we'll review and build on the whole book. It's not that long; it's only 10 chapters. And if y'all was listening, maybe y'all starting to put some things together. Maybe y'all caught on to some things. You know, but again, that's definitely a good read. What I did want to end with real quick, because it's definitely not
these not the same Hebrews or Jews that Jesus was calling out in the book of St. John. Is what it is appearing like.
Oh yeah,
that's what it seemed like.
which one? What do you mean? What part of the book?
Well, what he said. I think it was like St. John 8. He was saying before they about to stone him or whatever, for basically speaking the truth, and he was saying that they was of their father the devil.
Okay,
and,
yeah.
because they didn't follow the ways of Abraham.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed like Mordecai and even Esther, they weren't bowing down because they didn't want to acknowledge the king's laws or lose their way of life, become more like the king. Mm-hmm. And that's what be, if you're following the ways of Abraham, that's kind of the degree that you would be following.
Mm-hmm. Sure indeed.
I mean, it's still early, but that's just what it's seeming like.
Mm-hmm. Now you definitely hitting on some things, and again, we all got our own measure. So whatever you see, what I'm saying, like you bringing that measure to the table. but you definitely on track because
Yeah.
Esther, Mordecai, the king, Vashti, Haman, the chamberlains, they all represent, we can read it on surface level as well, but they represent things that's going on in the mind.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But again, so even with so the thing with this whole religious thing, a lot of people get caught up in is you know, the surface level stuff. But like, Jesus and the Christ and that whole anointed degree, these are things that's all attainable, or what we're supposed to be striving to attain for ourselves. We supposed to be striving to attain to walk the same way Jesus walked. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
you go a whole day to day, you got temptations left and right. Jesus was tempted. What he did, he didn't give in. But you got to be of a certain type of caliber and character to walk that way, you know what I mean, and talk, that way, and just be that. But that's something we always striving for. You know what I'm saying? And these Bible degrees, they just unlock keys to how to, understand, wrap the mind around that, to be able to walk in that light. Because that's what we all striving for. We all could walk in that light before the rest of men. We're gonna be them living examples that Jesus was, and it's gonna make other men and and people want to be like, be the same way. You know what I'm saying? It's not far from us. So like, where the Christians kind of go wrong is that they waiting on Jesus to come and all this, that, and the third, when they just got to tap in here and here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it is. You know what I mean? Until we all meet that fateful day and we standing before the Most High, and we got to account for those things we said and done. The goal is to strive to be able to get to that point where if and when that day does come, you can stand as a man. Because if you can't,
Yeah, it's over.
and I'm just using my imagination, I can only imagine what that's gonna feel like.
Right.
Me personally, I don't want that feeling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Got to conquer the lower self.
Got to conquer the lower self. That's what this is about. This is So we're gonna pick up with the bill. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna pick up with Esther later on tonight. But what I did want to dig into real quick is the Moorish Holy Quran, chapter 32. This is holy instructions from the Prophet, charity. It says, "Happy is the man who hath sown in his breast the seeds of benevolence." So just off that sentence alone, that's heavy, right? Because what's the opposite of happiness? Unhappiness, misery. We got a chapter on that in here too, right? So if you wanna learn how to be miserable or how to avoid misery, study that chapter. But it says, "Happy is the man who hath sown in his breast the seeds of benevolence." So seeds are they're not even plants. They haven't bloomed or anything yet, right? And we talking about sowing again. This whole celebration of Ramadan, even Purim right now, it's around the time, and this year coming around Ramadan, coming around is very special. This is it? No, because I forget according to the Islamic calendar, but it aligns with the first month of the year, according to our calendar, right? Ramadan, because Ramadan cycles, I think it takes 33 years to come back around to the actual month that the Quran was revealed to Muhammad, which it might be this month, if I'm not mistaken, because the calendars are different, but um again, it's dealing with this full moon and Purim is dealing with the the new moon, and then Purim is dealing with the full moon, and because that's what tomorrow is, right? So, leading up until that time, there's a fasting that's going on. You know what I'm saying? We're fasting for the month of Ramadan anyway. It just happened to fall like that. But even with Purim, there's a fast that happens, right? Um, again, preparing the body and the soul, right, for this period of time, in the new moon, especially, now, because again, we got Passover coming up too. We're gonna be celebrating Passover as well. But this is bringing in the new year. This is the time to sow seeds, right? This if you're a planter or a gardener, now is the time to be gardening and planting yourself, especially if you live in the Northeast. You know, it's gonna take you a while to harvest anyway, but now is the time to do that. Um, and again, it's all as above, so below, as within, as without. You know what I'm saying? So this is how we used to govern ourselves and our lives, our communities, our livelihood. You know what I'm saying? Um, the degree on, so like a lot of people say, how does God take a day off and why rest? Because you have to rest the body. You ever tried to run something to the, even when you're planting? This is why you have, if you have a garden, you have to give the soil time to heal. You can't just plant. There has to be a resting period. So again, this is why we follow these particular laws, because it's not just ritualistic. We supposed to be living according to off the land this way and governing ourselves the same way as well, right? But notice that it's talking about charity though. So we still dealing with the agricultural degree, because all this stuff point back to agriculture. You know what I'm saying? Like, go back to Cain and Abel, the garden, eat, you know what I'm saying? It's all pointing back to agriculture, which deals with deals with the feminine and the masculine. But so it says the seeds of benevolence, which is charity or giving. The produce thereof shall be charity and love. Or rather, what's the definition? Could somebody give me the definition of benevolence?
Kind or helpful.
Right. Kindness or being helpful. Right. It's saying the produce thereof, so the product thereof shall be charity and love. Right. Giving and love. Like, so this is dealing with the first degree, our first principle. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Love. We're dealing with Jesus now. It says, from the fountain of his heart shall rise rivers of goodness, and the stream shall overflow for the benefit of mankind, not for the benefit of self, right? But notice how this benefit of mankind is coming from this place of goodness and this place that's in the heart where we find Allah. This is why doing charity and giving charity, which is something that is part of our observation for Purim, tomorrow is the day that we're supposed to go out. We're supposed to give each other charity. We're supposed to go out and give to the poor. During the month of Ramadan, this is another theme, and especially during this time of sowing seeds, right? It says, he assisted the poor in their trouble. So again, going out and helping people that are less fortunate, that's going through their hardships. This is the sacrifice that we're supposed to be given to Allah. Their hearts are the altars that we're supposed to burn these fires of sacrifice on by relieving them of their stresses and their troubles and their problems. Especially if we have the ability to do that. And that don't even take much. I'm walking up for example, this morning I'm catching a train, and a lady, she like, I didn't notice it was even a lady, and I didn't even notice what she was doing until I was walking up the stairs with her, and I noticed she had her suitcase and she was trying to come up the stairs. So I just reached over. I said, no, let me get it. She was like, no, I got it. I said, no, give it to me. I took it from her, and I walked up the stairs, and she was just super happy. And like I didn't, you know, it ain't take much, but that probably made her day, probably made the rest of her day. This Muslim brother, and he, you know, I'm an Asiatic, you know, I'm dressed like this, you know what I mean? Well, not like I had something else on, but you know, this the impression that we should be leaving on the world. And it only takes leaving that impression on one person. It only take one person. You know what I'm saying? And it could be the smallest thing, even you know, smiling at them, saying hi to somebody. You know what I mean? You know, just looking at them and letting them know, you know, have a good day. A person that is very, 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 very good at doing this is the National Grand Sheik. That man make everybody smile. Children, old ladies, everybody. I don't know nobody that do it better. You know what I'm saying? But little things like that, and you know whatever else that you know you can do, because we all different. You know what I mean? Everybody's not a people person or whatever, but in whatever way you can contribute and help, it could, and again, it could be in the smallest way. These are the things we have to do. You know what I'm saying? It says he rejoiceth in furthering the prosperity of all men, not some men, not his own people, not his crew, his homeboy, his brothers, his cuz, all men, not just Asiatics, all men, right? He censoreth not his neighbor, right? You know, somebody got an opinion, you don't shut them up. You know, let them have their peace, even if their opinion opposes yours. You can't just because this is what happens. We see it every day out in the media. There's no freedom in that. You know what I'm saying? That's the First Amendment. You know, he believeth not the tales of envy and malevolence, neither repeateth he their slanders. Right. So again, remember it's saying he believeth not the tales of envy and malevolence. Not that you don't believe in envy or malevolence, because some people are envious and malviolent, but we believe not in the tale. So I don't want to hear from you. And if I do hear from somebody else, you know, I'm gonna just go to the source, right? And again, neither repeated their slanders. Again, I'm not even going to entertain, you know, some gossip about this or that. Right? It says, he forgiveth the injuries of men, he wipeth them from his remembrance. Revenge and malice have no place in his heart. That's a tough one for a lot of us. You know what I mean? You know, especially as men, you know, the ego. And this is again one of the degrees from Christ. And again, Christ said he was going to send the Holy Spirit or the Holy Breath. We know that the Holy Breath or the Holy Spirit, Ruh or Rauch, which is in the Hebrew, we know that this is a feminine term. So for men, this is one of the degrees where it's about us connecting with that energy within self. Because as that's and see, this is another thing that's kind of hard for us as men is putting the ego aside enough to tap into that holy breath, because it's not a like 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 National Grand Sheik say all the time, ego and testosterone. That's the problem. To be like seriously, that's the problem. Again, and for us as men, we have to learn to put the ego and testosterone to the side. And it don't mean being feminine. I'm not talking about being feminine. This ain't about being feminine. For clarity, you know, it's just about tapping into that other side of the mind, right? Not that the soul is, you know, we don't have two souls like the prophet tell us in the Moorish Holy Quran, like the Egyptians think, and You know, they think we got many souls, and the Persians think we got two souls. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying being able to tap into that, because that will allow for the ability to forgive, you know, because you got to understand, how can you go before the Father and ask for forgiveness for all the treacherous things that we have done to ourselves, to him, to other people, and yet we can't let something little slide? Somebody walk by you, didn't say excuse me, you got a grudge all day. You know, your parent did something to you when you was a child. This person did something to you when you was a child. This person did something to you a bunch of years ago. Da, 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 da. But you want to stand before the Father and want the Father to forgive you of everything you did, because we've done things, and he gonna say, well, you haven't forgiven the least of me. Just like I was hungry and you ain't feed me. Just like I was thirsty and you ain't give me drink. Just like I was homeless and you ain't give me shelter. I, I, I did you wrong, but you ain't forgive me. But you gonna stand before the Most High, asking for forgiveness, and you know we can't do the same thing. It says, "For evil he returneth not evil. Right? He hateth not even his enemies, but requitteth their injustice with a friendly admonition." Right? That means he nollied the case. You nollied the case and gave him a friendly and give him a friendly goodbye. You know, like, you know, you're wonderful, brother. God bless you, may Allah bless you. Again, because if Elion returned the evil that we've done to others back to us, how many of us will probably be dead in the grave right now? It says the griefs and anxieties of men excite his compassion. Most people don't even have their compassion excited. Most people will look at somebody, look at a situation, not even think twice about that person or the situation. Oh, that's on them. Oh, well. He messed up. Oh, well. Or don't even look that way. And then so it's talking about compassion being excited, because why? Because most men are excited by their passions. They see what other men drive, they see what other men wear, they see what females look like, and this, that, and the third. We get excited about these things. We can't lie. I'm not gonna lie. We can't lie. Nice things excite our passion. But it's talking about the griefs and anxieties of others. How do you even get to the point where when you see somebody struggling, it excites you to go help them? You gotta be built different. You gotta be built different. This is why, you know, we gotta teach our children at a young age that helping other people is a good thing. It's something that you should strive for, because this is how we're gonna be rewarded. When we could deal with the scriptures about this too, because even though, matter of fact, I did a degree, but once Purim is over and everything, I did a degree on, are Christians really saved by grace or works? Because I could show them in the Bible where Jesus said he's gonna come and judge them by their works. You're gonna be judged by your works. Jesus said this. Grace is something different. I'm not saying that that grace is not a thing or is irrelevant, because God, Allah's mercy and grace, we all know about it. How many situations we've been in where I know Allah's mercy and grace was on, but because of that, I gotta put in some work though. That just don't mean because I got grace and mercy, or grace and mercy exists, that I don't gotta put in no work. Because that's like people say, oh, the Bible say, doesn't Allah provide for the birds? But the birds just don't get up and just be singing all day. They work all day long. When you see a bird, what a bird doing? It's busy. You might see two of them playing around or something like that. But you look at a bird, he hopping around looking for some seeds, doing his thing. They ain't just singing all day. Allah already provided for us. Allah provides for us, but we got to go put in the work and lay the foundation. Like, it's just not gonna fall out the sky, you know. Work like that. They say he endeavoreth to alleviate the weight of their misfortunes, and the pleasure of success rewardeth his labor. So the pleasure of successfully alleviating the burdens and the weights of people's misfortune, these are the things these are the things that bring us closer to Allah. The less we do these type of things, these acts towards to help people and stuff like that, you don't build this type of compassion. You don't build this connection to your heart. You get further away from that. This is how people end up just sinners. They just don't care about nothing, nobody, themselves, nothing. It's gonna be hard for them to get to heaven. Or it's gonna it's gonna be hard to stand on that day of judgment. Right? So it says the fury it says he calmeth the fury, he healeth the quarrels of angry men, and preventeth the mischiefs of strife and animosity. Hmm. You know, fury, anger, strife, animosity, all of these things come from a certain place within people. You know, people usually be mad, upset, and stuff like that because they really be hurting somewhere behind something. You know, our objective is to have the eyes, or the third eye, to see beyond that rage and that fury and those outbursts and those things like that, and say there's something going on there, and do what it is that we know to do. He promoteth in his neighbor, excuse me, he promoteth in his neighborhood peace and goodwill, and his name is repeated with praise and benedictions. This is why, again, I encourage us, during this time, again, get out in your community, go help the less fortunate, whether that's, feeding them or feeding somebody, doing something, just, go out to the community and help others. You know what I'm saying? That's what this is about. Promoting in your neighborhood peace and goodwill, and your name being remembered with praise and benedictions. Like, again, like I do this every week. I go downtown, I'll just go buy some coffee, donuts, sandwiches, and I'll go hand them out. And like when I come now, they be like, yo, Akeem, yo, what's up? Shukran, brother, Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. But you know, it is what it is now. And see, I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. And this is the example I want all of us, you know, all of our sheiks, all our sheikesses, all of our members. This what we known for as more. This the tone that's set by Moorish Holy. This how they don't, all that stuff that's going on with the Moors online, we got, you know, everybody got loose cannons and crazies. Whether they're Europeans, Asians, you just seen what happened in Russia. They done shot up a theater, killed 100 and some people. You know what I'm saying? It's not just isolated to just a group of people, you know, but we have to be the example so that when people do see the Moors, they have a reference point, a different reference point. They not as we know real, like I don't know what that's going. I don't know what's going on online on the internet, none of that. I know some real Moors. They be in the community, they give back, they help the kids, they help the homeless, the poor. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what we need to be known for. Like that's everything else not gonna matter. It don't matter what they say, how they try to paint, you know, what type of picture they try to paint. And of course, I'm not saying we won't have nothing to say if they do try to, you know, say something about all of us and try to lump all of us in the same group or something like that. Now, we gonna speak out. But at the same time, you know, the perception that our people will have, especially in our neighborhoods, because that's where it starts. And that's the only place where we can change or make change happen is where we are, where you at locally. You know what I'm saying? Like I know we be wanting to, you know, everybody has this grand, you know, thing where they want to save, you know, we want to save the whole Moorish nation, all our people. Just start with one person. Then it's another one, then it's another one, and another. Then we, you know, eventually get there. But it gotta start with one person, you know? So it's yeah, it's 9:55, got 5 more minutes. I'm not gonna belabor it. So, you know, we're gonna keep it short. Anybody got anything they want to add? So again, we'll be back at I think what time we got more? What I said, 6 or 8 tonight. Brother Chairman.
Islam Sheik, yeah, it'll be 8 o'clock tonight,
Okay,
Eastern
yeah.
time.
All right, cool. Yeah, so we'll be back again tonight at 8 more. All right. I'm gonna close out with the Moorish American prayer. Rising to my highest height, facing the east, feet on a 45-degree angle. Allah, Father of the universe,
Allah,
Father of the universe, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Al-Hajj Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali. I mean,
Thank you.